We're getting ready to do 7.1 example 3, and we are crescendoing here in this first section of chapter 7. And we've been using prime factorization to find prime factors of numbers, and then we found the GCF of numbers. Now we're going to find the GCF of monomials. Okay, so that's where we get to throw some variables in. I know you're quite excited about that. Probably not, but I'm going to make it easy on you, okay? Variables are actually quite simple. So I don't want you to fret about it. You're going to pick it up and it's not going to be a problem at all for you. I have no doubt in that at all. Okay? So let's take a look at letter A. This is a great one for me to show it to you, for us to go over together. So I'm going to do A and B with you, and then I'm going to leave C for extra credit, okay? So give you another extra credit opportunity. All right, let me just write out 3x cubed, put that here, and then underneath it 6x squared. And let's start writing out the prime factors, or the factors of all these numbers here. So 3, it already is a prime number, so it would have a factor of 1 and 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And x cubed is just simply x times x times x. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing down here with 6. 6 is 2 times 3. Those are the prime factors of 6. And it only has 2 x's. Now what we're looking for, when you're looking for the greatest common factor, we're looking for the same number in each line. We're also looking for the same variable in each line. So let's take a look. I see a 3, and I see a pair of x's. And so the GCF of 3x cubed and 6x squared would be 3x squared. And we really don't want to spend a lot of time having to write it out, okay? I wrote it out for you so you could see and apply it from example 2, how to do it in a very practical sense. But even more practical than that, we need to be able to do numbers like this mentally, okay? So anytime I see the coefficients 3 and 6, the lower number, I ask myself, is 3 a factor of the bigger number, 6 in this case? And the answer is, why, yes it is. So the GCF would be 3, okay? 3 is a factor of 3, and 3 is also a factor of 6. So you can do that mentally. Now, here's where it's really cool, the variables. This is really cool. The GCF of variables is always the variable with the lower exponent. Always, 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 and forever, amen. So if you have the same variable on each line, and we do, we have x cubed here and x squared here. We have x's on both lines. Well, what do you have? How many x's are at least in both lines? Well, we have at least 2 in both lines. One line has a little bit more, but both lines have at least 2. There's 2 there, and there's 2 there. Always choose the lower exponent when you're choosing the GCF of a variable. Choose the lower exponent, okay? Because if you have to choose between x cubed and x squared, always go with the lower one, x squared, okay? That's the practical way to do it, is the mental math. But I laid it out for you and wrote it out so you could see that. So here's your GCF, box it in, and that's what we need to know. All right, let's look at B. Now B, if we attempted to do this mentally, which I am going to challenge you to do, our number, let's just focus on the coefficient. Our number is 4 in the first monomial and 5 in the second monomial, okay? Now when you think about the number 4 and the number 5, what is the greatest common factor of those two numbers? And if you're thinking 1, you're exactly right. You are exactly right. It is 1, okay? Now, why is that? Well, if we listed out the factors of 4, that would be 1 and 4 and 2 times 2. So these are the only factors of 4, 1, 2, and 4. And the only factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Do you see where 1 is the only factor that's common, and it is. 5 is prime, so we're limited on choices, and none of the other factors of 4, the 2 and 4, don't go into 5, so 1's our only choice, okay? Now, x squared and y cubed, they're not the same variable. We don't have x's in both those monomials, and we don't have y's in both of those monomials. So there's nothing common in the variables at all. The only greatest common factor you have is 1. The variables are not shared with each other. 1 is different. X squared is different than y cubed. Okay? So anyway, I told you I would leave C for you to let you try that for extra credit. So remember, we're looking for the greatest common factor of 18 and 27. So there's one number that's the greatest common factor of both those numbers. And then, of course, you need to figure out what's the greatest common factor of your g's. Is it g squared or g cubed? Now, if you've already forgotten how to handle the variables, back the recording up and listen to me explain it again, especially the mental math part. All right, good luck with that, and bring your questions to class tomorrow.